we're just sowing out again. Maybe checking a few of the containers that we have. Also general Q&A. I'm not sure how long I will do it today, but maybe an hour. Something like that. To just hide a little bit here. Maybe in a way that it doesn't blind me. Okay, this is all right. But yeah, want to continue sowing out. And we will continue and continue and continue until we have so many seedlings that everything's going great. Sowing out is a great way to get a lot of cool plants. It's a great way when you do not have a lot of money. So yeah, we'll continue to do that. Sowing out is where the real magic happens. And I really recommend it. And if you are unsure, if you have never sown out cactus seeds before, I will help you. We will help you. So if you have questions, just write them in the comments. If not, we will just continue to sow out, do our stuff. Later today, I will work outside. Got to start preparing the greenhouses for winter. Yeah, but it's a little bit early. Trying to get started slow in the day. So we're just doing a little bit of live stream here and there. Just putting in the soil into the square pots that I got. It's maybe enough soil for 15 containers. I'm not sure if we can sow those out today. We'll see how far we get. Okay. There's all kinds of pieces of root bark in this soil. I really recommend to stay away from root bark when you're sowing out. It will still work. We can make it work, but ideally, no matter what kind of soil you use, make sure it's not full of like organic material that still needs some time to decay. Pieces of root bark can always be a cause for fungal infections. Can always happen, so best not to stress it. If you have trouble finding a good soil, just classic sowing soil will do the trick. So hi to everyone who just joined us. I appreciate you being here. I'm trying to do this on a regular basis just to have that. It's great to do this kind of stuff, sowing out. So yeah, these are 7x7 square pots, 7 centimeters to 7 centimeters. Just big enough to get them started, to get the cactus seeds started. And later you will have to repot them. Hey, good morning. Someone in the chat saying hello. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. So yeah, and it's also general Q&A. If you have questions, write them down. I'm happy to get back when I see it. Trying to have an informative live stream here. Doing my best to just do this the right way. And it's getting cold. We're getting cold winter. Got to make sure that the heaters are set up appropriately in the greenhouses. And I want to do some videos from the greenhouse later today. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But we need to set up our heaters. The heaters will get a digital thermostat to make sure that the temperature doesn't go below freezing outside in the greenhouses. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We now have 10 containers. Doing a few more. Great to see you. Kami is licking a plastic bag in the background. I made her some food and she ate so fast that she gave it away again, and now she's eating plastic. I don't know what it is with cats. Cats and plastic. So yeah, Livestream is growing. I see that there are more and more visitors in the stream, and that is great. It's starting to make the rounds that I'm doing these live streams, and yeah, it's fun. I appreciate it. It's great to see so many coming up, like getting out of bed or whatever, taking time out of their day to join the live stream. I love it. So yeah, I want to continue to sow out again. I'm sure we are running out of space very soon, but for now, we still have a little bit of space, so we're doing it. If at some point we no longer have space for new seedlings, then we'll do something about it. But for now, we can do this every day. Okay. Just checking the seeds to find something that I really like. So here's a Flying Dragon hybrid. I like Flying Dragon hybrids. Flying Dragon is a great hybrid. In my opinion, it's a hybrid of Trichocereus camagensis, Sörensia camagensis. I've had a discussion with Michael Kiesling from Chiemgau Cactus about it. He thinks it's more like a Schaffery hybrid, which could be too. You know, both have very big flowers, but the flower structure and the spines count are a little bit closer to camagensis. Someone's asking if I'm German. I was born in Germany. I was born in Saarland, Germany. I'm actually a Saarländer. That is something like a little bit different, but it's, you know, it's in Germany, but it's like that little region between Germany and France that has a bit of both worlds. Thank you. Even if I could learn perfect English, wouldn't want to drop the accent. It's just where I come from, and I'm kind of proud where I come from. Like the time and place where I grew up in the 80s, and it was a great place to grow up. You know, it's not like how it was, how Germany used to be like earlier. You know, when they were involved in all these dubious things. Like later, they really turned around. I grew up in a country where I got a good education, where I could learn English, that I'm able to do this now in English. You know, it also has to do with the fact that Germany, I'm always proud of where I come from. Take care, Dave. See you later. So yeah, this is a Flying Dragon hybrid, KA23 132. Hybrid between a Walter Stocker hybrid with Flying Dragon and Cantora 1433 and Sisala. Flying Dragon, Cantora. And the father is Sisala. Colorful hybrid by Uwe. Hey mate, someone from the Netherlands saying hello. I appreciate it. I have a lot of friends there, a lot of cactus friends and all that. So yeah, I appreciate it. I love how like everything's so close together these days in Europe. I mean, they love to criticize the European Union a lot, but if there's one thing, it brought some of the European countries closer together. I have so many friends in other European countries where I've traded with or just being friends. So always great to see people from there too. All right, let's see what we have here. It's really hard to pick the parents because a lot of today's hybrids are already a few generations of Cantora, Wörlitz. Some of the hybrids, they could potentially produce the best hybrid ever, or just a one-colored flower. You never know what you get. So you sometimes just have to sow them out and hope for the best. Yeah. Okay, so we are sowing these out here. This sounds really good. Ingo Bartels hybrid. No idea. You know, there are all these parents that I haven't seen. So I just try to sow them out and hope for the best. So this is a Uwe Karle cross from 2023. And later we will sow out some of my own crosses again. I need to plant these two, otherwise I will have all these hybrids by Uwe, but none by myself. So yeah, hybrid K23 177, and the label is super long. I really need longer labels so I can write these down. So the mother has hybrid by Ingo Bartels, and it is super long. He has even longer numbers than Uwe Karle, but some really good hybrids. Okay. All right. So yeah, the goal is just to sow out all throughout winter. And I mean, the sowing out is basically my basis for the live stream, but I'm also just constantly taking questions. If people are sowing out simultaneous, I don't mind. Okay. Yeah, and over there we have a lot of seedlings that we will check later. Looking for the first germinations so we can move them under the plant lamp. My method is always to put them to have them in the closed bag. Then you put, and then after you have a few seedlings here and there, you move them under the lamp. Welcome back, Dave. There's so many different seeds, it's crazy. I don't know what to do. Let me see what I have in there. So this is a hybrid between Hilde Winterer hybrid EOS and an Echinopsis and Arboricola, Sörensia arboricola. Really good species for hybrid breeding. Could be a good cross, so I'm planting it. Always cleaning up the seeds. Yeah, I mean, someone wrote that they missed out on the work today. Can't always work. Sometimes you need a break. Sometimes you need to recover and all that stuff, you know. Okay. So this was a hybrid from 2024, the 12th cross from 2024. Multi-hybrid EOS and Echinopsis crossed with Sörensia arboricola. But they are just too promising, you know. There's so many different good things that you can plant, but they are all interesting in their own ways. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue. Little bit of water, not much. Seems like the oh, let me see if I have deactivate the internet, like I had to get to the mobile internet. I'm not sure if my whole my stream was stable, but now it changed. Now it should be more stable if I was like stopping if the reception was poor. Now it should be better again. Forgot to turn off the internet from above, the home internet. Okay, so here's a hybrid between Lobivia winteriana and Saarwellen. That is a great hybrid. Saarwellen is a multi-hybrid between a columnar Trichocereus and a Pseudolobivia, Echinopsis toralapana, I think, and or Calorubra, one of those. And yeah, sometimes that hybrid makes crosses with Lobivia winteriana, for example. Yeah, and that has potential because I want to have the flower of winteriana on a more columnar body. That could be great. So we're sowing that one out. Someone's asking about like the watering can. That is just the smallest one that I have. It's poor quality. It leaks water everywhere. It is really the worst kind of water can that you can imagine, but it's part of the channel somehow. I don't know why. I just didn't have anything smaller. And when you're putting water onto the seedlings, it is important that you do not wash the seeds into the cracks around the pot. So when you use a bigger watering can, and it can sometimes wash the seeds away, and that leads to seeds germinating somewhere down in the pot, and they never make it. They almost always, you don't realize it until it's too late. So I try to, for seedlings, I try to use something smaller, and we will get a new one. But it's just, I mean, it's part of the channel, you know, it's like improvised. A lot of the stuff here is improvised, low budget, you know. I could probably replace it with just a glass of water and it would be more efficient. But I don't want to do it to the poor thing. Okay. Okay, now we need a label. So I just saw that my mother just texted me asking me to come down to, and you know, I had a chat with her earlier, like just 20 minutes ago, and I said I'm going on stream. I will get back later. No matter what I say, they don't listen. I can't stop now. Okay, so this is Lobivia winteriana crossed with Saarwellen. Very good hybrid. I see that sometimes the chat holds back chat messages for approval, manual approval, and these things. I'm not sure on what standards, like how it determines that a message should be tested, but I can't influence it at the moment. So I will look into that, trying to, you know, to reduce accidentally blocked messages in the chat to a minimum. But right now I have no other way to do it. I'm just alone. At some point we will have moderators in the chat that can do that. But it's still the beginning for the channel. You know, I've been doing this channel for 8 years, but somehow we're still at the beginning. Sometimes with this kind of stuff, it's a long way. It's a long road until you finally reach a bigger audience. It's not easy sometimes. Kami is walking around here. I'm not sure what she wants, but probably looking for something to eat. Dave wrote that the can has character. Yeah, it's a little bit like me, you know, old and messed up a little bit, but it has charm. So we're keeping it for now. So here are seeds from Pink Stripes. That is something that we should sow out probably. Pink Stripes being such a great hybrid. Oh, and I already see that the water from the can has been leaking here. So I need a new piece of paper. I don't know. I really might have to replace the water can because it keeps leaking everywhere. Let me see. I just need a piece of paper to clean the seeds a little bit. Every time I put seeds out of the bag, I put them on a piece of paper and I clean the seeds up before I put them in the pot, before I start sowing them out. So let me just check if I find a piece of paper here. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I found something. I really recommend that you do that because it allows you to see the seeds, to feel them, to see that some of them are unviable. Sometimes the seeds are numb. They haven't really developed into viable seeds. They just look like seeds but are pretty much devoid of life. So I like to put out the bag, all the seeds onto a piece of paper and just let them roll around a little bit, because fully developed seeds will roll on the paper. They will move, and everything that is a little bit like smaller, not round, they will stay on one place in center very often, and that allows you to sort out the seeds that would otherwise not come up, or even worse, come up and cause a fungal infection because they are not developing into healthy seedlings. They just come up and start to rot the moment they are out of the seed hull. So yeah, cleaning everything up makes a lot of sense. Always gotta watch Kami. She vomited in front of my television. And it was because she ate too much at once. I gave her something different that she just to try out, and she liked it so much she ate it all. There's no kind of, you know, like the feeling of maybe I should stop. Maybe I'm already full. Maybe I should stop. She doesn't have that. I don't know why. Okay. So this is Pink Stripes. Seeds of Pink Stripes from 24, I think. And that is a good cross to sow out. I like that. I like crosses with Pink Stripes. It's such a beautiful flower. Really good. Okay. We might have to buy new soil soon. And I will buy, next time I will buy sowing soil again, I think. It's not that I do not trust the soil that we're using here. But I'm a little bit taken aback by the pieces of wood that I see in it. I don't like cactus soil that has pieces of wood. I like it. I like organic soil, but there's a limit, you know. At some point, when you have wood, you have fungal growth, and that can affect the seedlings. It can grow over to the seedlings, or you have mushrooms coming out of the sowing soil. It's not how it's supposed to be. It would still work, but maybe that now that we're doing it on air, it should be maybe a little bit different, like easier to replicate. So we're using the most basic kind of soil that we get. And in the next days, I will look around. I want to buy some other seeds to sow out. I'm not limited to cactus seeds here. I want to plant a few fruit trees here and there. I really like the pawpaw trees from the United States. I wanted to sow these out. I really love that tree. That's a cool kind of like fruit. So maybe we will do some other sowing out sometime soon too. And not all seeds are equal. Some need a lot more work than the cactus seeds. The cactus seeds are just sprinkled on top of the soil. And some other seeds need like stratification, being put in the freezer, being exposed to cold temperatures for a while, or maybe when we need a file to open like the pores a little bit, that they can take in the humidity. So someone is asking about seedlings that he has, and it's little seedlings that are a little bit mostly albino, and might not make it on their own roots. In that case, you should instantly graft them. When you are sowing out and you really want to save the albinos, like the fully variegated seedlings, you will have to graft them right away. Means you will have to have seedlings, like you have to have grafting stock available at any time when you're sowing out. Grafting stock that is not only like that you cannot only graft on, but it needs to be an active growth. So if you want to really graft these albinos, make sure to start giving the grafting stocks water, heat, light, to make sure that when you graft, the grafting stock is also in full growth. Because right now, a lot of people are in winter time. It really depends on where you are. And if a grafting stock is just hibernating, just in winter mode at 10 degrees, something like that, it will not be a good grafting stock. You can graft on it and the connection will be right, but it will not produce a lot of growth. Take care, Dave. Yeah. So make sure that if you have like seedlings where you think they will not survive on their own because they are not able to produce chlorophyll, then graft them right away. And make sure you already get your grafting stocks ready. Put them under a lamp, under a plant lamp if you are in winter. Give them water regularly. They should be in full growth before you graft on them. Right now, for me, I wouldn't be able to graft a lot. I still have grafting stocks everywhere, but they are basically in hibernation. They are basically waiting for the next season. So they don't grow a lot. And when you graft on them, there's a higher risk that the graft will fail, or there's a higher risk that the graft will take, but the scion will not grow, will only grow next year. And that is a lot of additional risk where you have to keep everything healthy over the winter, where you have a tiny seedling over the cold months. That can be risky. Someone asks about grafting stock, what grafting stocks I recommend. Once again, it depends on the climate. when you live in, like you said, in the UK, where temperatures are cooler, make sure you get grafting stock that can handle frost, that can handle cold temperatures, because sometimes they would just need to take a little bit of cold weather. And some of the grafting stocks like Pereskiopsis, these thin, ancient forms of cacti. Pereskiopsis are like leaf cacti. They still have some form of leaf. They're really an early form of cacti when the normal plants started to evolve into cacti. And these are great grafting stocks because they produce fast growth, but they need winter temperatures of 20 degrees Celsius. So you need to have them warm all the time if you want to graft on them. And overwintering Pereskiopsis in a greenhouse, in a cold greenhouse, is difficult. And the same can be true for some of the other grafting stocks like Heliocereus, like these thin kind of grafting stocks that are often used for fruit production. They are great when the temperatures are not too cold. When it's really cold, good grafting stocks are stuff like Trichocereus, classic Trichocereus, Candicans. They are now in Sörensia, but Trichocereus, Candicans, or the columnar ones, the columnar species that they can produce very fast growth, a lot of flowers, and they can take a little bit of frost. The frost tolerance of some of these Trichocereus species is -5 degrees Celsius, a fair amount below freezing, and that is the perfect grafting stock. Also, Eriocereus huberti, Harisia huberti, is a really, really good grafting stock. Hey there, someone joined the chat. I appreciate it. Hello. So yeah, at the moment I try to grow Harisia huberti, get them to flower, so I have seeds to sow out because they are great grafting stocks. They can take a fair amount of frost too. But ideally, if you have whatever you have available, if you have Trichocereus available, they are often a good stock. Some of the species work better than others. The thin ones, like Brigesi, they are a little bit worse because you do not have the stability to graft on them, because they wiggle around when you put pressure on them. The more slender forms of Cuscensis are not so good for grafting because of the same reasons. They are slender, don't have enough stability, and sometimes the spiny ones, like the very spiny plants, can push the scion off the graft. Hope this answers the question. I love to graft with Trichocereus, classic, whatever I have. Everything I sort out, but I also graft on Echinopsis. Echinopsis can be great to graft little pups, just to produce a few, like more pups, to mass propagate a pup. You use an Echinopsis that you sorted out, put a tiny pup on it, and use it just to harvest new pups. That can be a great way. Okay. So this is a Rosa California hybrid that I made. Good cross from last year. Okay. So we're getting somewhere. And like I said, the live stream is becoming more busy. There are more comments and all that. I really love that. I love to see that so many people take time out of their day to participate here, and I appreciate it. Great to see. All right. So let's put the label on it. I really need to replace that leaking water can. It's leaking water everywhere. I can't even tell why. I don't even know where the hole is. Okay, so I need more labels. I'm always happy to help. So, Rosa California hybrid. And in summer, we are moving the live stream outside into the garden, to the plants, to the flowering plants. Just put the live stream on the plants, on the flowering. That will be great. That will save me a lot of uploading time where I can just live stream the flowers. That will be a lot better. But yeah, we need to make it through winter first. Always appreciate getting new subscribers. I want to grow the channel fast so we can get to a point where we can actually do something here. We have a lot of space, a lot of, like, I have a big garden here where we could do stuff, but we might have to build some like new greenhouse here and there maybe. So I'm trying to grow that channel as fast as possible. Okay. All right. Yeah, and later we will check on the other seedlings that we planted a few days ago. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's just, I mean, it would be easier to run a channel where you do classic influencer stuff. It's just the type of content that has it a little bit easier on social media. So we're always coming in with a little disadvantage, especially at the time of AI. I mean, on my channel, everything you see, it's the real flowers and all, you know. And I don't know, sometimes they promote all that fake content, you know, and they don't show the real flowers. They don't show the people who go out and make the work, who put all this energy into the hobby. And instead they use their algorithms to show all that poor quality content that isn't even real. I really believe that being a moderator in a lot of cactus groups, a lot of cactus forums, it matters to me that the stuff that we show on our platforms, no matter where it is, on our communities, is the real deal, is the real nature, because nature is amazing. There's such a diversity in nature. We do not need to come up with AI to produce fake flowers, because there are so many real ones that we could show. So yeah. And when it's about AI, I'm not really, I mean, I see all the positive, the good use that they could do with it. It could be so great for education, just having, like, giving everyone access to education, to good education. But the way we use these things, I just don't think it will be used for education, to make education available to everyone. The way I see AI being used right now is by like pushing like AI slop content, poor quality content, seeing videos of Mr. Rogers like shouting profanities, these kinds of videos where the people who they depict wouldn't even be okay with, you know. The guys would probably be disgusted if he would see the videos that they're doing with him now today. So that kind of stuff, you know. I'm not really against AI in the sense that I see there's a lot of good that they could do with it, but I'm just a pessimist, I guess, in some ways when it's about tech, about new tech. A lot of things will happen. before it will help people. A lot of industries will become obsolete. People will will lose their jobs because of AI. It's just how it is. And I'm not seeing it create so many jobs. On the other hand, I think it would cost more jobs than it will create. I think it will make more people jobless than create jobs. I think a few people will get really rich with AI, maybe 10, 15 people, and the rest of society will have a lot of disadvantage from it, a lot of problems over it. And I'm not seeing that great content AI and right now anyways. I mean, when you look at the kind of stuff, the auto-generated description of stuff, meta AI, we see so many cases where it's just wrong, where it's just hallucinating, where it's just making up stuff that isn't true. And that is a problem. I'm a member in a lot of mushroom collecting groups where people post the mushrooms that they found. And we've seen a few cases where really dangerous mushrooms have been, like where they put recipes for them below, that kind of stuff, So you can't even rely on it. You can't even trust it right now. Maybe in 10 years from now, but until then, it still needs to prove that the benefit for society outweighs all the problems that it brings. I'm not sold. I'm just not sold. But if they one day come up with something like Wikipedia just with AI, like a like open source kind of thing, where you completely put it out in the open and you say this is just for the good of humanity, then I would support it. That is the kind of stuff where I would maybe say, okay, it's not being used to replace artists. It's not being used to replace people like me who post these flower videos. They're already creating all these AI videos with flowers. Their goal is, like the social media platform's goal is, that they have endless content machines, and they never have to pay someone for it. But that's an illusion, because the people still need to want to use that. They need to want to use that AI. And if the outcome is so bad, if the results are so bad that the way they are right now, it's not really, you don't take it seriously. You laugh about it. So I'm sure there's potential. I'm sure at some point it can become a real help for people. In the same way, so many other things have become a help. Like the internet, for example. The internet has brought access to education, has allowed so many people to have an education from poorer countries, But look at how the internet is used today, like with social media, supporting just political propaganda, divisiveness. The way social media is right now, it's a strain on society. And in the same way, I see AI. Like a couple of weeks ago, someone called my grandmother, and my grandmother, she's over 80, she's approaching 90 now. And someone called her crying on the phone, claiming to be her son, my uncle. And the guy called her and said, hey, I was in an accident and I need help. I'm your son. Please send me money, that kind of stuff. And this is the kind of problem that will become so much worse with AI, where they will video call, like us, our generation, the next generation of people who grew up with video chat. So they will fake everything. They will have a reliable video of you, reliable photo, and the voice will be there. And they will use that to scam people. That I see so many problems with it, potential problems, someone saying about YouTube and AI, I really think it makes the platform worse, because I mean, the kind of AI the good AI that you see, it's not so much, but you see a lot of bad AI where you look at it, like when Hulk Hogan passed away, and like Ozzy Osbourne when he passed away, that was at the same time. And in that week, I think I saw 100 videos, AI videos of Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne, just in an attempt to monetize the passing of these people, of these famous people. And that's how AI, a lot of AI, how it's used today. And that is a problem. I mean, I'm not seeing the good kind of content. I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure there are a few people who do it, and I'm sure at some point there will be artists, that use that kind of that medium to create something new. But it will still be based on the work of so many other artists. I don't want to even say real artists. I don't want to even go that way. But they, at this point, they basically took all this art, all these flower photos. They took flower photos too. If you use AI and try to generate a flower video, a flower photo, there's a good chance they have used some of my stuff, because when you look at for certain cactus flowers, I'm all over the internet. If you look at Google, there was a time when my results were everywhere. So if you try to out AI generate some of the trichocereus, whatever, there's a good chance they will have used my stuff. And it's not their attempt to make it available as a tool. It's their attempt to not pay creators. It's their attempt to replace people like me, people who built all these databases with photos, like databases that are freely accessible. They have been browsing the internet. They have been taking everything that people put out for free, just in an attempt to make it available, to help. And they are taking all that. They have taken all that for their algorithms, and they are not intending to pay for that. Not in a million years. And that is the big problem that I have with AI. If they would say, okay, we might have been a little bit fast grabbing all your data. Let's apologize. Here you get maybe 10%, 20% of the money that we earn, but they don't intend to do that. They don't want to do that, So yeah, that is the grudge that I have with AI. I see so many problems. And to be fair, I also see the good. I also see good. I also think if we would live in a perfect world, it could be a great tool for education, for just doing positive stuff. But right now I see a lot of propaganda videos, like political videos, that are just used to lie. And that can't be the goal, right? I mean, this is a lot of stuff. There's tax funded, there's so many funds, tax funds and all that are going towards that too. It can't be the goal that it comes out and it is a burden to society. That can't be the answer. And they tell us all this stuff, AI is here to stay. That is what they told us about NFTs, about and all these cryptos that collapsed. And I still believe crypto is part of the future, but you always got to keep that in mind when they tell you there's nothing you can do to stop it. It would already be stopped if it's too bad for people to use it. And right now I see a lot of bad quality AI, bad auto-generated results, meta AI, putting the most ridiculous stuff under photos, where I just post photos of Mika, our dog. It's just not so easy. But yeah, it's the type of stuff that when you grow up, you also become a little bit more hesitant to accept new technology. That is something that I see in me, and maybe it's a bad thing, but maybe not. Sometimes it isn't, You don't have to, not every new tech will improve society, and that should be the standard. That should be the only standard for me. The standard shouldn't be, can it make 10 billionaires even richer? I don't see that. Yeah, someone writing that AI is giving terrible advice. It is sometimes like that. And I'm sure it's not always like that. Then I don't want to generalize, you know, I don't want to say it's all bad, it's all there will never be a good use for it. I'm not even saying that, but they need to be aware of what kind of Pandora's box they are opening there, what it will do to industries that are important to us. Because look at us people as the human race and how we approach art, how we create something. I really think one of the saving graces of humanity is how we do art, how we do music, how we create movies, how we write books. It is such an integral part of our humanity to be artists, to work, to tell a story. And on one hand, it claims that it will make it easier for people to do that, but on the other hand, their goal is to put people out of business, you know? It will become so much harder for actual artists to do the craft every day to survive. People like me who go out in bad weather, in winter, to raise these plants so they can show the flowers 5 years later. That is so hard. That is not an easy thing to do. And when you can just auto-generate the flower, I don't think it will have the same, it will be seen as the same thing. It will be seen as always something worse, you know? So why are we letting it roll over us like that, you know? When we could very well take our time, look at the good, look at the bad, and do it slowly, while knowing the positive sides and the negative sides. Because I mean, if you take away art from people, if you take away our ability to assign like a meaning to something, to just try to tell a story, to paint a picture, to sit there and watch a beautiful like evening where the sun is going down and do something with it, you know? I just feel like that automatic copy machine kind of makes it a little bit less valuable. It takes that away from us. In the end, we will be the ones that do the hard work, and they will use like that AI stuff to create photos and art, you know, and we will be the ones that are living on poverty, you know. So yeah, that is my stance on AI. I wrote about it a few times, and every time the post went viral. There was one post that had like 2.5 million likes, not even like openings, likes. And it's, of course, it's about AI, it's about the future. So many people are worried. Maybe not everything justified, but it's we always need to, when we approach new tech, we need to keep in mind, we need to ask ourselves, will it improve society or not? That should be the standard. So yeah. Okay, yeah. So I will continue to sell out a little bit more. This is Humkes Roro, another hybrid that I really like, and the father is Amun Re. Cool Macrogonus hybrid with large reddish flowers. Amazing hybrid. And I'm glad that I'm sowing these out. Good cross. Okay. So yeah, to everyone who is new to the chat, who is new to participating in this thing, if you have questions like we're sowing out here, we're just chatting about God and the world. And if you have questions, just write them in the chat. I'm totally open to going. You've seen me going off on AI. I'm happy to have a chat about all kinds of like God and the world, whatever, everything that that we can discuss here among friends, you know. And if not, we are like ending the chat soon, like the live stream. We're approaching an hour now. So maybe doing another, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then I'm probably moving on to something else. But we will do the same again tomorrow. Yeah, I really someone wrote that they will have to go back to watch the old videos. I really recommend it. At this point, I've been doing this for like 15 years, 20 years. There's so many videos that I uploaded over the years. The YouTube channel has been around since 8 years. And before I took on YouTube, I was on Facebook. I was doing Facebook groups. So there's so much stuff. People could basically see me grow as a like breeder, as a cactus breeder. So there's a lot of cool stuff to watch. Last year, or in the current year, the last 2 years, the flower videos have been great. Like everything has reached a standard that is pretty good. So yeah, but the older videos are great too. Sometimes, I mean, they're a little bit less. I had to learn to use the medium. I had to learn to talk into the camera. I had to learn the English language a little bit. So, but it's gotten better over the years. Hey mate, someone joined the chat. I appreciate it. So yeah, but check out the old stuff too. Some really good videos, especially I'm currently posting videos that are from the 2022 season, and that was a great season with a lot of flowers, with cool flowers, good light. The videos were bright, good camera, good videos. So yeah, welcome to everyone who just joined us. We're already a little bit late in the stream, but I'm doing this every day, trying to do it every day. I mean, I might miss a few days here and there. Today I almost missed it because I was filming other videos, but I will try to have this as a constant time or constant live stream that I'm doing on a regular basis, trying to do it daily, if not daily, every 2 days or so. And I will try to keep it up. We'll see where it leads us. If it's good, maybe we will invite other people with other channels who also do this stuff, who could use a little bit of like additional, like another platform, you know, because I know how hard it is to grow in this whole social media landscape. Someone's writing about the English language that I'm doing good. Thank you, because that has been that has been a subject that that is important to me too. I had to learn it. I had to. English wasn't my first language. English was my third language. I came up. I was born German, learned German, and learned French. Learned French because where I grew up, it was basically France for a long time. So first language was German, then French, and only then I taught myself English by watching movies and that kind of stuff. I had 2 or 3 years of English in school, and that was it. And the rest is basically coming from being on social media, or from being on Cactus forums, the early days of the Cactus forums where I learned English. And that is why I always loved the internet. The internet was something that opened so many doors for me. I'm proud of the way the internet works, and I miss the old school internet from 2005 maybe. That was the kind of internet that I mean, there was a lot of bad stuff on the internet, but if you look at the internet today and back then, I preferred the old school internet, and it allowed me to do my first steps to finding my way into the community, to get to know everyone, and I was welcomed with open arms, even though my English was so bad at the time. Because at the time, live translation wasn't a thing. You couldn't. There was no live spell check like we have today in every smartphone. Back then, I was sitting at the computer, at the desktop computer, and I didn't even there weren't even any live spell checkers yet. I had to at some point get me like these apps, these additional apps that I could run to have a basic English spell check, and that helped me a lot. Yeah, Düsseldorf. Yeah, it's a great city. It's not too far from where I was born. Cologne, directly besides it. Nice place to live. Good, hardworking people. I love it there. I've been there a few times, watching like the Kölner Dome, like that huge cathedral that they have there, that luckily survived the Second World War. It's such an amazing piece of like skill, just building skills and all that, you know. Some very cool old school buildings in that area. Okay, so this is from a cross between Angelo and Fast 12, and I want to sow this out because I've lost my Angelo mother plant. I've been making crosses with it. Angelo is a hybrid, a multi-hybrid involving Lobivia and Echinopsis. And I like the flower. I bought that plant that I had on eBay, and I paid $100 for it. So it really frustrated me when one year it was suddenly gone, like it didn't make it through winter. So now I'm sowing out the seeds that I still have left to maybe get something that is very similar to original Angelo, that is a good hybrid. Dave, you basically missed me going on a huge tangent about AI, but nothing else. But I was really like going on about AI for a good 20 minutes or so, and it wasn't bad. It was basically the truth. But yeah, was a little bit going off topic, but that's how I want the live stream to also be, you know. I don't want to only have the live stream about cacti. It's about everything. I'm happy to talk about just getting to know people who watch my videos. I just like that. Trying to find out more about life. Over the years, in the last years, and like when I watch television, today I mostly watch television where they show interesting people, just having interesting points of view. And it's often older people who have lived through difficult times. I feel like hard times build character a little bit. And today when I watch something, it's often interviews with people that inspire me, people that just inspire me to try to be a better person, to do better, you know. I'm aware that people watch my stuff. There's so many people on social media today who turned out to be horrible people, who just, I don't know, have been disappointments. I try not to be a disappointment for the people who watch my videos. That is what I try to be, nothing else. So yeah, and it's not easy today, you know. We have all these different opinions sometimes. I have friends that, for example, that support AI, that come from different backgrounds than I come from. So we sometimes disagree, but I greatly value the ability to talk with people from all these different backgrounds and learn. Thank you. Someone wrote that it's been nice to meet me and the audience, and I appreciate it. Like I said, I try to do it daily, but I might miss some days here and there. I already want to say that if I miss a day, then I will try to catch up with it later, maybe in the evening. or I will do like a twice as long stream the next day, you know. Someone asked if I considered to grow mushrooms for food. I did. I already grew mushrooms for a few years, and it worked. It was great. I got me a few kind of like the mycelium on, like, you know, on plates and whatever, and I propagated for a while. I had all these, like, you know, medicinal mushrooms that you can use to, like, I don't know what it was, like in Germany I think it was called Austernseitling, like a edible mushrooms, you know. And I did that for a few years and I loved it. I bought a huge autoclave, like a industrial size autoclave from the Bundeswehr. That is like the German army. I'm not sure why they had it, probably to sterilize tools and different equipment. But I bought one of these for $300 at the time, but I never got to use it. It was just so big I couldn't even move it, you know. But I did that. It was sold. At some point in my life, I was losing track of it because it was somewhere in a, like, in an old barn, you know, and things in an old barn, they have a habit of disappearing. So at some point it was gone. Someone probably stole it, and I regretted it because that things would be expensive now. These things have gone up in value. At the time, the German army was sorting them out, and you could buy them for cheap. There were like 100 on the market simultaneously, so the prices were very, very low. And yeah, but that thing was so difficult to move that I couldn't move it. I could not do anything with it. And at the time, then my interest in mushrooms kind of faded towards like cacti. And yeah, but I love growing mushrooms. I still go out looking for mushrooms, identifying mushrooms. I have a few really good books that were expensive, where really had to save to get me these expensive books. I have the books by Stamets that he wrote on growing mushrooms. It's a super interesting subject. I love it. I would love to continue doing it, maybe at some point in my life when things are easier again. My grandparents, they were really poor, so they had a house where the cellar had natural soil in the cellar, and they were growing like these edible mushrooms in the cellar. Like I'm not sure, agaricus, you know, I'm not sure what the English word is, but they were producing these edible classic supermarket mushrooms in their cellar on the soil. No cemented. When we took over the house, we had to cement the soil, the base, so we have some kind of floor, you know, because my grandparents, they just grew what they had. They lived from what they had. They had honeybees. They had a lot of honeybees, and were eating stuff from their own land, and they did that too, just to survive, you know. After the Second World War, they were poor like dirt, and my grandfather had to really fight hard to make a living at the time. So yeah, portobello mushrooms, right? Yeah, that's what they grew in the cellar. I'm not sure how they did it, but that's what my parents always told me. When I was born, I only got to know my grandparents for a few years, so it was already over at that time. But I will always keep that in mind. Someone asking how I feel. Yeah, I'm okay. You know, it's winter and it's cold outside, but I'm okay. I love doing the live stream. I really enjoy doing this. It's fun to being able to do that, you know. It's a luxury to have built a base of people who are interested in what I have to say. So I appreciate that. I'm always happy when I'm here. If I would get a mushroom, oyster mushroom block, I will really have to look into it again and how to like keep it going. Maybe I wouldn't rule it out, you know. At the time, I was really growing mushrooms from also from the plate, and I had a lot of success. I had a lot of like failures too. It was a lot of fun, and I will not rule out that I will get back to it one day. I might get back to it, you know. But you know, right now life's so difficult. I'm already having full-time schedule. I'm not sure if I could do it justice. You know, if I do it, I want to do it right. I don't want to have it in a way where it's doing poorly. But I will look into it again. You know, you brought me to reconsider it. You know, yeah. Yeah. Look, I would love to take you back on the offer. Maybe let's chat like via messages. Send me a message somewhere, and we would chat about that. You know, because right now I always considered like going back to growing mushrooms, but it's also when I'm doing stuff, I usually do it excessively. I'm not the kind of person who like just does a little bit. So maybe I will try to get back in the right mindset to do it right again, because I always wanted to like grow a few of the rarer ones, you know, stuff that you have to sow out, like that where you have to take the spores and all and get back to it. I would have to have equipment again and all that. But I really consider it. It's something that has always I still see the mushroom posts in my feed and all that, you know, in the news feed, and I still interact with it. I love seeing all these rare plants, rare mushrooms being posted. Also the little brown ones. I mean, it's just an interesting subject because there's such a variety that are not that are not so common, you know. I also like the kind of mushrooms that have no properties at all, that are just interesting in themselves, and it's a huge subject, and I love it. I actually wanted to go out looking for mushrooms in the last couple of months, but my life has kept me so busy. I never had the chance to get back to it, you know, because it's also like when I was doing that, it was hours a day where I was out, and right now, me being here like with Kami and Mika, they just take a lot of time for me, and I'm barely right now. I have problems doing all the cactus stuff, you know. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew, but it's a great subject. I love that stuff, and I'm still seeing it on social media. Friends of mine doing all these mushroom books, and what stuck out to me was how like it has become even difficult on social media because a lot of accounts are closed. A lot of groups have problems where the automatic moderator removes subjects, and so many problems, you know. So but I love it. I really love it. It's a great subject. I wish I would already have more experience like on like going out and knowing every mushroom that I find, but it's not it. I find like the literature over here has been very expensive. Like I bought me a book series called Pilze der Schweiz. That is a book series about mushrooms in Switzerland, and it was such a popular book series that it became popular in Germany too. And a book like costs 100 euro, like $100. So, and it's 5 books, and you don't even get them all the time. So even if you have that $100 to pay for that volume that I'm missing, it's you sometimes don't even get them. So yeah, because it's special interest literature, it's very desirable. Yeah, but I'm happy to see people being on that journey. You know, I've been on that journey too, and I enjoyed it. It maybe was around 2000, 2005, around that time where I discovered all this new world that interested me, and I wanted to try it out. And it wasn't so difficult like many people think it would be, but on the other hand, I also had a lot of failure. Okay. Yeah, I think I gotta move on. I think my mother has been trying to reach me a few times now. So I guess we will end the stream for today. But if you want to get in touch with me, just send me a message on, I don't know, Instagram, on Facebook. I do not use Messenger a lot, but every now and then I look into it and see that 100 people have written me a message, and then I get back, so just send me a message on social media and I will get back. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we're picking up another subject like that tomorrow. I appreciate it. I love that we can have these discussions here. And yeah, it's been a fun day. If you missed the discussion earlier about AI, go back and watch it. It's actually, I think I made a few decent points. Not great, but I made a few good points about AI and why I think it's also a burden a little bit to society. So if you are interested in that, check out the part of the stream that you missed. And if not, I'll be back tomorrow, probably around the same time, maybe 9 to 11 Berlin time. So we will have another chat. I try to do this on a regular basis, and I'm open to all kinds of questions. I'm not limited to the cactus stuff, okay? Yeah, it was great to meet you too. I appreciate it. I love that you guys are participating in the chat, that we have such a busy chat. And yeah, I will be back tomorrow. Okay, thank you guys. Talk soon, right?